Good morning, dear students of class 8. Welcome to the English online learning class. Today we are going to work on the value points of the lesson The Open Window by Hector Munro. In the story, Frampton Nuttall, who is suffering from nervousness, he goes to a calm and quiet place for his treatment as advised by the doctor. So he calls on a family friend there. He meets a 15 years old girl, Vera. She is very calm and confident girl. In the lesson, word self-possessed is mentioned. That shows her confidence, and at the same time this 15-year-old girl is very calm. She tells Frampton Nuttall that her aunt Mrs. Sappleton will soon come downstairs. He had with him the letters of introduction that was given to him by his sister. His sister had told him that in the countryside he will meet only a few people. If he is unhappy there, his conditions may deteriorate, and so his sister wanted him to visit these houses so that it would help him in calming his troubled nerves. Now Vera asked him whether he knows many people there. He replied to her that he did not know anybody here. His sister, who had visited the place 4 years back, gave him letters of introduction to some of the people. He said that he only knew her aunt's name and address. Vera told him that about 3 years ago, her aunt's husband and 2 brothers had gone out for shooting. She pointed to a large window that opened in the lawn, the French window. She told him they had gone out from that window 3 years back and they never returned. The wet spongy ground bog swallowed them, and also their bodies were never recovered. She further said that Mrs. Sappleton always keeps this window open until it is dark in the hope that they would come back someday, sometimes. Vera also feels that someday they will come through that window along with their little brown spaniel dog as they did before. In the meantime, Mrs. Sappleton came and she apologized for being late. She said that her husband and brothers had gone for shooting birds. She told Nuttall that she had kept the window open for them to enter into the house so that they do not spoil the carpet with their muddy shoes. Nuttall tried to change the topic, but she continued talking about shooting and shortage of birds. He realized that her eyes were fixed to the window and lawn and was paying only a little attention to him. Suddenly, she looked towards the window and cried that they were back on time for tea. Now Frampton shivered with fear and he turned towards Vera to express sympathy. But even Vera was looking through the window with horror in her eyes. Now he swung in his chair and looked towards the window. He saw 3 figures carrying guns walking across the lawn towards the window. A brown-colored spaniel was with them. Now Nuttall was left with nothing. He hastily ran out from there to save himself, thinking that these were the 3 ghosts. The man came in through the window and asked Mrs. Sappleton, who rushed out of the house. And she said that he was Nuttall, who talked only about his illnesses. He ran as if he had seen some ghosts. However, Vera was expert at concocting stories. Romance at short notice was her speciality. She said he was afraid of dogs. Nuttall was afraid of dogs, as once a group of dogs chased him into a graveyard. He spent a whole night in a newly dug grave and the dogs growling all around him. So this is how this interesting story comes to an end, and it emphasizes the special quality of Vera, who was very good at concocting stories. And that is why the lesson ends with this interesting line, romance at short notice was Vera's specialty. Now, we have completed this lesson. You go through the lesson value points, write it down in your notebooks, and then for tomorrow's class, we are going to work the question answers. Thank you. Have a nice